Precious Great Lakes. Great Lakes consist of Lake Superior, Huron, Michigan, Erie, and Lake Ontario. Lake Superior is the largest body of freshwater by surface area in the world. The Great Lakes combined have the largest coastline in the continental U.S. They also contain more than a fifth of all the world's surface freshwater. Though the lakes may be big, they're very susceptible to harmful things, which can include algal blooms, which are large areas of surface water covered in toxic algae, pollution, melting ice in the winter, which can cause the fish to become very cold and potentially freeze, and invasive species infestations, like the Asian carp infestation in Lake Ontario. The Great Lakes are relative newcomers as far as gigantic geographical features go. They were created approximately 11,000 years ago, when North America's last ice age ended. When the glaciers were melting, the gouged basins that eventually became the Great Lakes were created. The lakes did not fully develop until about 3,000 years ago. When I say this, I mean, for example, Lake Superior's depth was not what it is now 7,000 years ago, but over time the lake eroded and became deeper. So, what is harming the lakes? Well, there are invasive species that are harming the flora and fauna that live in or near the lakes. When I say flora and fauna, I mean plants and animals. There are also algal blooms that are ruining the water quality. Pollution causes these blooms. There's a picture of an algal bloom in Lake Erie. And also pollution itself is damaging the lakes by harming the wildlife or even the water itself. Examples of these pollutions can include oil spills, garbage, etc. So what happens when the lakes are being harmed? First of all, there's bad drinking water. The picture on the left is a picture of a bottle with drinking water from Lake Erie. And if you drink this water, it will have bacterial infections and that could harm your health. There's also bad animal health. For example, scientists have found moose who live near Lake Erie to have sludgy intestines instead of their intestines being stiff and firm. There's also bad living conditions because the algal blooms are not safe to live near due to the toxins that they produce that go into the air. There's also a lack of food and or fresh water because the water becomes undrinkable and the fish become not safe to eat due to diseases or bacteria that they have. So what can we do to save the lakes? First of all, stop polluting. Report invasive species, plants and animals alike, because if you report them, the wildlife conservationists or people who work at the park or lake will help by moving the invasive species to habitat that they cannot ruin or destroy, or they will remove the invasive species altogether. Also, most importantly, spread the word. People need to know why the lakes are being harmed and how they're being harmed. The websites I got all my pictures from in this slideshow are all from Wikimedia Commons, not endorsed or sponsored. There will be a link in the description to all the pictures, and there will also be 2 additional links, one for Google Slides for this presentation, and one for Microsoft PowerPoint for this presentation. Feel free to use it whenever you want.